الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام وكفانا الله بها نعمة. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك وله الحمد، يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. القائل: واعلموا أن الله لشديد العقاب. وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله، رسول الحق، رسول النور والهدى. Brothers of Islam, fear Allah as He should be feared, as fearing Allah brings you rank up and removes sins and wipe out. One of the companions of Rasulullah, Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, 5 matters result when 5 things happen. If people break their covenant with Allah, He will send an enemy against them. If they rule by other than the law of Allah, poverty will spread among them. If they become deceptive in trading, Allah will deprive them from crops and they will be struck with famine. And if they withhold the payment of zakat, they will be struck with drought. This is a comprehensive clarification of conditions for victory and the causes of defeat for the Muslim nation. Breaking the covenant of Allah and His Messenger, or in other words, disobeying Allah and His Messenger, is one of the reasons for its defeat and being subjugated by its enemies. Likewise, ruling by other than the rulings of Allah is the reason for the poverty, disunity, and conflict which is occurring now among the Muslims. Conversely, obeying Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the source of victory. Allah says that which translates as, "O you who have believed, if you support Allah, He will support you by giving you victory." Supporting Allah is by obeying Him and obeying Rasulullah. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, may Allah be pleased with him, was checking on his army during the battle of Qadisiyah. He passed by a tent of one of the group of the soldiers at night and found the men inside praying qiyam, which is voluntary night prayer. And he remarked, victory comes from such a tent. Then he passed by another tent and found them inside sleeping and remarked, defeat comes from such a tent. This was despite the fact that the men who were sleeping only missed a recommended prayer and not an obligatory one. Yet Sa'd considered missing this recommended act to be a reason of defeat. How can the Muslims expect Allah to grant them victory while they are discarding prayers refusing to pay zakat, and dealing in interest, what can they expect when alcoholic drinks and nightclubs become prevalent in their lands? What happens when evil becomes widespread? The Prophet ﷺ was once asked, would we be punished by disasters which befall us while we have righteous people among us? Rasulullah ﷺ said, yes, if evil becomes widespread. Allah says that which you translate as, and fear and affliction, which will not strike those who have wronged among you exclusively, and know that Allah is severe in penalty. Therefore, if Muslims truly wish for victory, then they must change what is in themselves. As Allah says, which you translate as, indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. A Muslim must not feel despair and lose hope in Allah, as He may grant Muslims victory due to some of the oppressed or weak righteous people among them who cannot defend themselves. The Prophet ﷺ said, you are provided for and granted victory due to the weak amongst you. It is a fact that the leaders and rulers of the Muslims will be as unjust and oppressive as the Muslims are amongst themselves, and their leaders will be dealt with as they deal with their subjects. Make dua for Allah. حمدا يملأ السماوات والأرض حمدا يليق بمقامك وجلال قدسك وصلاة وسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله دائمين إلى يوم الدين. Brothers of Islam, one of the major sins of abandoning the religion is to forsake prayers. This is done by either not praying at all or by only praying Jum'ah prayer and neglecting the rest of the daily prayers. The Prophet ﷺ said, the bonds of Islam will be broken one by one, the first of which will be the implementation of Islamic legislation, and the last of which will be prayer. Praying is the first thing that one will be held accountable for on the day of judgment, and it was among the final things that the Prophet ﷺ emphasized strongly on before his death. Allah described the believers with that which translate as those who carefully maintain their prayer. This is for the believers, the righteous ones, those who carefully maintain their prayer. Indeed, prayer has been decreed upon the believers at specified times. The Prophet ﷺ informed us that there will come after him rulers who will abandon prayer or delay their performance when He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam advised us to pray on time, then pray with them as an optional prayer. We had seen in the last few months what was happening in Myanmar, how the Muslims are treated. Human being is a human being, a Muslim or non-Muslim. But look for the disunity. Look for what happened for this group in Myanmar. Recently, we had seen a decision had been done by the United States to take their embassy to Al-Quds. We had seen in the last few months what was happening in Myanmar, how the Muslims are treated. Human being is a human being, a Muslim or non-Muslim. But look for the disunity. Look for what happened for this group in Myanmar. Recently, we had seen a decision had been done by the United States to take their embassy to Al-Quds, where is our first Qibla. But thanks for all the governments all over the world and for the organizations, with a special thanks for the government of Australia, who had actually refused that decision, and even they decided not to support the decision and not even to move their embassy to Al-Quds, taking in consideration that this is a holy place. I hope that the Muslim leaders to start to unite. Let us them to become for unity and consulting with each other, so the others can respect the Muslim nation. Let us to be praying for Allah to let the Muslim leaders to be united and come together for conclusion, for the sake of Allah, to give us the holy place back for the Muslims. Let us to be praying for Allah to be actually providing us with conditions of victory and to keep us attached to the conditions and to keep us far from reasons of defeat. Let us to be praying for Allah to be united, and Allah شديد us by His mercy. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداء الدين. اللهم استرنا فوق الأرض وتحت الأرض ويوم العرض علينا. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله ولذكر الله أكبر والله أكبر وأقم الصلاة.